Good morning. I've been sitting at my desk most of this morning thinking, right, I'm going to write some blogs, and my brain has completely frozen when it comes to the writing bit. I have to say, it's a beautiful sunny day where I am, and I keep looking out of the window, and I've had quite a busy week. Well, no, that's an understatement. I've had a very busy week for me. And I'm sitting here thinking, okay, my life has gone completely out of balance this week, and I need to get it back on track. And I've got a desk full of paperwork. You wouldn't believe the chaos I seem to be sitting in this morning. So when in doubt, when I need to write and tell you something, it's easier sometimes for me to just video blog. So here I am this morning talking to you via video. And I wanted to explain to you how my week went and how you probably would relate to some of what I'm going to say. Now, 9 times out of 10, I keep my life relatively balanced. My diary is the way I block time through my week so that I know what I'm doing when I'm doing it, and when to give a buffer between things and allow time for me. All those things that you read on the website that I talked to you about balancing your life. And one of the things that is an added stress for me is I have an illness. I have a chronic pain illness. So I also have to factor that into what I call my own personal negotiations. So last week, I had meetings almost back to back for a couple of days, and I also had to go away for an overnighter for a very quite stressful, heavy seminar with some of the volunteer work I do. And actually everything last week was volunteer stuff. It was nothing I get paid for. So I was trying to balance all that. And I had done this, what I call my sort of personal 3-part negotiation with myself, which is a technique I learned from my NLP training days, where I will negotiate with the very, very tired, painful me and the me that needs to get to these meetings, do what needs to be done. And we will negotiate in much the same way I talk to you about negotiating time with your bosses or time with your family. I negotiated this. If I can get through the week, if my painful, tired side can just keep going, then the side of me that had to get it done, the business side of me, would agree some time off next week, the coming week. So I did all that. Well, I sat down this morning and thought, well, this morning I'll just catch up with my emails, and I'll have a chat with my followers, and I'll put a blog up and talk about how I balanced that this week. And it was an interesting balance because I do a lot of voluntary work, and those voluntary positions that I work in are quite different to what I would call my day job. So it's a different thought process. So from meeting to meeting, I was changing my thought process constantly and going from really quite fun, setting sort of things up and event things, to quite difficult, really difficult things for an organisation that I work with who had some deep thinking and change management to go through. But I balanced it all, and I got home last night, and I was tired, and I promised myself an early night, which I gave myself. And I promised myself that I would have a long lie-in this morning, which I did. So after I'd gotten up and feeling like I had been kicked around a football pitch a few times, I relaxed into it and went to my diary where I had done all this negotiation and saw that lovely slot that said, whatever you want, your time, do what you want. And just having that in my diary really helped me relax. Suddenly I didn't have to stress about where I'm supposed to be, what I'm supposed to be doing. I put the washing in, I've done some cleaning up, but what I'd set that block in that diary was whatever you want to do. So my brain didn't have to panic about things that had to be done. And I'm back in balance again and deciding what I'm going to do with this beautiful afternoon. So I wanted to share that with you in the sense that I tend to treat my whole life as if it was a business negotiation. my voluntary work, my own time, my pleasure time, if you like. I block those times, and if I have to switch them around, they're never set in stone. I will negotiate with myself how that'll work so that my brain isn't constantly on the search for time to do things, or have I fitted something in here or something in there. And my priorities are such that if the washing up doesn't get done for a couple of hours, I'm not going to stress about it. And I wanted to share that with you, all you working mums out there, working grandmothers like myself, because I have to fit the grandchildren in there and a bit of babysitting and support for my grown-up kids. And to tell you that sometimes the simplest solution is the way, but sometimes the simplest solution is the most difficult to accept in our heads, because we want to fill the gaps in all the time. As human beings, we constantly want to fill these gaps in. And sometimes you just have to let it go and accept that at that moment it is what it is. And I was talking to a friend of mine who has had some quite major illnesses and hasn't been well, and had desperately tried to get back to work and managed it, but then ended up in this quandary and couldn't balance the idea that actually she wasn't well and she'd got back to work, and I was working with her to say, give yourself time, relax, work it out how you're going to manage this time and lose the stress. So that's the message I wanted to give to you today, which was a lot easier just to talk to you than try and type it out, because my fingers are tired and I didn't want to bother. And I always say I'm going to do more of it this way. And somehow it doesn't always work out that way. But I don't think that's overly important, because I live my life in balance and I live my life my way. And my message is always to all the people that follow me: live your life the way you want to live it, and find the balance to do the things you want to do and the things you have to do, and enjoy as much of it as possible. So have a great weekend. Enjoy the sunshine if you've got any. Enjoy some time off. Put it in your diary if you have to. And just remember that you are the best person you can be, and to live your life the way you would want others to live theirs. So have a great time, and I'll talk again soon, or there'll be blogs soon. But please do share this with other people if you think it resonates with you. And I look forward to seeing you on the website, all the W's, justloveyourself.co.uk, where there's loads of information if you need it. And if not, just email me with a question, a suggestion, a comment. I'm always interested to hear from people. Okay, see you soon. Bye.